Oh, it's been said a bard's life can often be a hard life, or hill and jail to rove and always move from town to town. And some folk have inquired if ever we grow tired of ranging all around the world and never settling down.
But one should be a little wary of remaining stationary, 'cause comfortable is lovely, but it's not the way we grow. When life starts to unravel, pick up your pack and travel. You'll find a strange serenity in places you don't know. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-rat-terry-o-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. You've got no map for showing which direction you are going.
But why start on a journey if you know where it will end?
And once you recognize,
To anticipate surprise, you'll relish every twist and turn that lies around the bend. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-rat-terry-o-dee-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road.
the world has got its demons. There are many reasons why you'd find it harder to be brave than be afraid.
But every life could use some danger. Every friend was once a stranger. Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not why ships are made.
Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-rat-terry-o-dee, dee, a fwit-dee-dee-dee-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Adventures waiting further down the road.
Let's go!
Crafting, crafting, crafting with Joshi and Cubby. What will we make today? What is the dice of the day? Crafting, creating, collaborating. What would an octopus say? Trivia questions, hooray! Creating, clickbaiting, can't hardly waiting for the crafting show. A crafting show with Cubby and Joshi.
Hi, everyone. Turns out we weren't delayed as much as I thought we were going to be. I had a last-minute Hi. Before I launch into that, great to see you all. Thanks for being here. I had a last minute callback for a student short film uh, that I told them I wasn't available, and then they scheduled me anyway. So, but I thought it was going to be a lot longer. So, yay, I'm here. It's great to see you. Yeah, this is I'm still in my yeah, exactly. I'm still in my callback audition setup. This is I've got one of those screens. It's got the blue. I got a little light right there. Got makeup on. I did my hair. Don't expect this level for every show. This is a lot of work for 9 in the morning. So we have an awesome. You know what? That's a great question, and I don't know. You never know. You just don't know. I felt good about it. I had a fun time. It's a fun part. It's like a evil villain part, which I love playing a bad guy. So yeah, so I had a fun time. When you get to callbacks, it means they liked your acting. They think you're good for the part, and then at that point it's kind of out of your hands because it could be anything. Oh, you look too much like this other actor we cast, and we don't want people to think that you're related. Or you I don't know, height sometimes matters. They're like, oh, we you just don't know. They've got other decisions going on. And having been a director and producer on the other side, I've not cast so many incredibly talented people. It has nothing to do with their level of talent. It all has to do with um all of these other factors. Yeah, that has happened to me before. They're like, "Oh, we really, really loved your scene, but we already have the lead actress cast, and you look too similar." And that's it would be confusing for the audience. It's like a weird, all right, I can't do anything about that. Um, I had, yeah, sometimes they're like, "Oh, we really loved your acting, but we went in a different direction, and we want somebody older or somebody younger." There's so many other stuff going on behind the scenes. I count a callback as a win. Because at that point it's kind of well, is it me that you need? Great. If not, fine. You know what's best for your film. Yeah. Hi, everybody. So we have a good show today. As you can see, Cubby is not here. Cubby today that's why I was worried it would have to be delayed a little bit, because normally Cubby could cover for me. But he's got a training for a new job that he's got, which I'm sure we'll talk about when he's back. So yeah. So it's just me today, or maybe if Mab and Kitty join, I don't know. All good. It's all good. But we have a good show today. We'll do some trivia. I have a bunch of cardboard props that I need to make because the sketch show I'm in is coming up. It's an hour-long show this time, so it's quite a few props. We're also, oh, nice. Cool. Thanks for being on the chat. I appreciate that. Thanks for everyone being here. I love it. Crafting. Right. What do we do in the show? Crafting. That's right. Crafting. We've got cardboard crafting. And then also my partner and I are producing a show together. If you're in Los Angeles on March 28th, I'm doing a show that I used to produce in Philadelphia. Here we're calling it comics reading comics. So it is stand-up comics and sketch artists doing live staged readings of old silver and golden age comic books. Which, if anyone's into those comic books or read them before, they're amazing. They're wild. I mean, these people were having to pop out stories every week. Stories get weird. You run out of ideas fast. And then all of a sudden, Batman is fighting a guy who pulls gimmicked spots off of his costume and throws them, and they turn into saws or traps or nets. You got to figure out something. You run out of time and you're like, Superman needs to weave a wedding dress really fast. He can do that. They're so ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. And some of them are still around today. So we're doing that March 28th, 9 p.m. at the Lyric Hyperion. Check out my Instagram. All the information is there. They're great. I'm super excited about it. If you happen to be on the West Coast and also in Los Angeles, because the West Coast is very large. It's really big. California's very large. So I'm going to move we've got a bunch of people here. I know some people can't be here for the whole time. So let's do some trivia while everyone's here. Hi. Not really. Not much. Sure. Let's do some trivia. Well, we have some people, and then we can do a little cardboard crafting, and then maybe a little more trivia. Maybe we'll probably talk about our feelings. You know how it is. All right, awesome. I'm ready for trivia. Let's get this ready. Boom, trivia. Also, very important, this thing. All right, so if you've never played trivia before, or if you need a refresher, here's how we play. I will read all the questions. We will do answers at the end so that I can play as well. We're all playing together. So if you feel like you know the answer, write it in the chat. We're all working together. So if anyone gets an answer right, we all win. If anyone gets an answer wrong, we all lose. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, we already did that one. Whoa. Okay. Interesting. I don't know this is interesting. I don't know the answers to any of these questions, but I want to. So we're going to read them. All right. People and places. What sea dumps pollutants on the beaches of Izerbosch, Makhachkala, and Fort Shevchenko? Also, I don't think it's the sea that's dumping those pollutants. I think the sea is just doing its business. I think humans are the one who put those pollutants there. Just saying. What sea dumps pollutants on the beaches of Izerbosch, Makhachkala, and Fort Shevchenko? That last one sounds a little Russian. What sea? I feel like it's up north. I feel like it's a North Sea. What sea dumps pollutants on the beaches of Izerbosch, Makhachkala, and Fort Shevchenko? I'm going to say the North Sea. That's not right. Is there an Alaskan Sea? Baltic? Baltic. That's a C, right? That's a good guess too. Also a good guess. All right, I think we're covered. I'm going to say the Baltic Sea. I don't know if that's a C. And those are also good guesses. Next question, arts and entertainment. Which of Talia Shire's nephews starred as Little Junior in Kiss of Death? I don't know any of those things. I don't know Kiss of Death. I don't know Little Junior. I don't know Talia Shire. But hopefully one of you does. Which of Talia Shire's nephews starred as Little Junior in Kiss of Death? I'm going to say Shia LaBeouf. Great question. This is from Trivial Pursuit 6. So I think that means it's from like early 2000s. Yeah. Well, we'll find out. I don't know who any of those people are. History. What disease killed Wilbur Wright, but not his brother Orville, who lived another 36 years? So these are the Wright brothers. They made a thing fly for a little while in North Carolina. For a while, thought they were the first people to make a flying thing fly, but I don't think they were. I think other people did it beforehand. We've now figured out. What disease killed Wilbur Wright, but not his brother Orville, who lived another 36 years? Was it chickenpox, smallpox, or typhoid fever? Oh, I forgot to say it was multiple choice. Chickenpox, smallpox, or typhoid fever. I'll let you take back your answers because I didn't give you those. What disease killed Wilbur and Orville? Good names, Wilbur and Orville. You don't see many people named Orville anymore. It's a good name, Orville. Chickenpox, smallpox, or typhoid fever? I'm gonna go with typhoid fever because you can die from chickenpox, but it's rare. And by the time they were alive, we had like smallpox inoculations had been around for a long time. The typhoid fever. Yeah, that's right. It's very fashionable to die of typhoid fever in the 1800s. Yeah, exactly. Or the early 1900s. I know they didn't have the smallpox vaccine yet, but they had inoculations. Maybe they had the vaccine by then. That was one of the first ones we got. SN. Science and Nature. Why do I always forget? Science and Nature. What's the only land animal to use extremely low infrasonic sounds to communicate across several miles? I don't know, and I want to know. Wait, I might have a suspicion. What's the only land animal to use extremely low infrasonic sounds to communicate across several miles? I have a guess. I'm going to let people put their answers. Oh, Mab Lion. I didn't think about that. I think a bat might still be considered a land animal because it does land eventually. I think it's elephant. I think it might be an elephant. That's my guess. Or a snake? No. I'm going to go with elephant. But a lion is not a bad guess, and a bat's not a bad guess either. The only reason I wouldn't think it was a bat is because they use low sounds in infrasonic, so like very, very deep, low sounds. But I get like whales, and elephants are like land whales, right? Yeah, yeah. That's my guess. Sports and leisure. Who humbly noted, "I'm just like everybody else. I have 2 arms, 2 legs, and 4,000 hits." All right, so I might know who this is. I probably should know who this is. Sports and leisure. Who humbly noted, "I'm just like everybody else. I have 2 arms, 2 legs, and 4,000 hits." It's either it's either Hank Aaron or Barry Bonds, but I'm not sure of the time period because there was like a while where Barry Bonds and Hank Aaron were like vying for the most number of hits, and I don't remember at what point in time it would be that person. Yeah, it's definitely baseball. I think it's definitely a baseball thing. I guess it could be boxing, but I think it's baseball. Who humbly noted, "I'm just like everybody else. I have 2 arms, 2 legs, and 4,000 hits." Yeah, it's either like, yeah, or someone who smoked a lot of weed, like a hit. Maybe it's, I don't know. We'll find out. All good guesses. And last question, wild card. What 2002 Chrysler was available with retro wood grain accents for an additional $895? Chrysler. What 2002 Chrysler was available with retro wood grain accents for an additional $895? So if they got wood grain panels, oh shoot, of course, that's exactly what it is. Early 2000s, Chrysler, yes, 100%. That's what the car is. That's what the car is. The car that I love and also that signaled the death of postmodernism. I can have a rant about that if you want. All right, answers. Answers. What will they be? Answers. Let's see. All right. What sea dumps pollutants on the beaches of Azerbaijan, Makachala, and Fort Shevchenko? The Caspian Sea. The Caspian Sea. Yes, that was Kimberly Cruz. I had a Dodge Caravan. And then a Honda Fit. And now a Honda Civic. And I've owned a Chevrolet Citation 2. That was my first car. And then a red car. I don't remember what that one was. And then a Cutlass. Chevy Cutlass, and then a Dodge Caravan. That's all my cars. The Caspian Sea, of course. Of course, the Caspian Sea. Arts and entertainment. Which of Talia Shire's nephews starred as Little Junior in Kiss of Death? Nicolas Cage. I don't know who the other names are. I don't know any of those things, but apparently Nicolas Cage is Talia Shire's nephew. Now we know who's Talia Shire. All right, I might have to look that up really quick right now because I don't know that name. I assume. Oh, I do sort of know her. Aha. Okay. So she's a Coppola. She played Connie Corleone in the Godfather films. She was that's who was in Rocky. She was Adrian in Rocky. But I didn't know her as I've never heard Talia Shire. Great. And her nephew is Nicolas Cage. Wow. Wow. The things we learn on this show. All right, history. What disease killed Wilbur Wright, but not his brother Orville, who lived over 36 years? Chickenpox, smallpox, or typhoid fever? Typhoid fever. Yeah. Cheering for typhoid fever. What's the only land animal to use extremely low infrasonic sounds to communicate across several miles? It is the elephant. I thought so. I love elephants. I've said this before, but my favorite fact about elephants is like when humans look at something they find adorable, we release oxytocin, I think it is. We're like, oh, it's so cute. We love it. But elephants get a rush of oxytocin when they look at us. They think we're adorable. We should only be nice to them. Who humbly noted, I'm just like everybody else. I have 2 arms, 2 legs, and 4,000 hits. Oh, Pete Rose. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Well, there you go. And what 2002 Chrysler was available with retro wood grain accents for an additional $895, the PT Cruiser. Well done, everybody. That was very well done. We did pretty good on that one. Should we do another one? Let's do one more. I feel like we're on a roll. It's a good one. All right. Okay, this is a good one. People and places. What snack is called a cachorro quente in Portugal, a chenchade in France, and a perrito caliente in Spain? Ah, cute names. So a chien chat, chien is dog, something dog. I don't know the Portuguese. Perrito caliente. Oh, I know what it is. Okay. What snack is called cachorro quente in Portugal, a chenchon, I think, in France, and a perrito caliente in Spain? Yeah, I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's got to be it. One sec. Just got it. My power cable just fell out. I'm gonna plug it back in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is the humble potted dog. All right, arts and entertainment. What was the setting for the Survivor series? Oh boy, I don't know Survivor, but some people really know it. So maybe somebody here does. What was the setting for the Survivor series featuring Rotu, Maramu, and Soliantu tribes? Oh, like where were they? Okay, what was the setting for the Survivor series featuring Rotu, Maraamu, and Soliantu tribes? I have a guess, but people might know. I mean, yeah, I think that's true. It might be Fiji. Have they ever been to Fiji? That's my only guess. I don't really know Survivor. I don't know where they've been. But if anybody else knows. I'm going to guess Fiji. Maybe, yeah. Let's just name little islands until we find the right one. History. What former math professor told a court in 1998, "My occupation, I suppose, now is jail inmate"? What is that story? A former math professor told a court in 1998, "My occupation, I suppose, now is jail inmate." So, like, some sort of math professor went to jail in 1998. Huh. I'm curious about the answer. Did Tom Lear go to jail? Maybe. I know. That's why the show was delayed a little bit. I had a callback, so I had to get all fancied up. Enjoy it, because you're not getting it again. It's too much pressure. I don't want to put that much pressure. That's too much pressure. Next question. Welcome. Hi, just some guy. So are you. We're all gorgeous every day. Hey, yay. All right, good. We'll keep going. Here we go. That was history. This is now science and nature. What vitamin does human skin synthesize when exposed to sunlight? I think we all know that one. Yeah, I think we know that one. Yes, exactly. Give me the D. What vitamin does human skin synthesize when exposed to sunlight? It's the D. What sports and leisure? What must an NBA player keep at least an inch away from his knee at all times? NBA, believe that's basketball. What must an NBA player keep at least an inch away from his knee at all times? Is it the other players? Oh yeah, you might be right. You might be right. Maybe? I don't know. Then they'd all be playing in tiny little shorts. No, that might be true. All good answers. All good answers. All possible. And last question, wild card. What decade spawned the Kit Kat, the Caramello, and the Rolo, leading Ronald Dahl to dub it the golden age of chocolate? Whoa. So in what decade were the Kit Kat, the Caramello, and the Rolo all produced? Yes. Oh, that's technically what it's called. The golden age of chocolate. I mean, no, like they're fine, but like I don't know if those 3 candy bars define the golden age of chocolate. Maybe. But what decade? What decade was the Kit Kat, the Caramello, and the Rolo? I feel like 70s? 60s? Rolos and Caramellos feel very like 70s to me. But the Kit Kat feels 80s. And it's probably earlier than we think. I'm gonna say 70s, but it's probably earlier than that. Yeah, Rolos feel earlier. Also, it's interesting that Ronald Dahl said that because isn't he English? And those are all American candies. Maybe it is the 50s. Yeah. I'm going to go with 70s, but I think you might be right. All right, here we go. Answers, answers. What will they be? Answers, answers. Let's see. What snack is called a cachorro quente in Portugal, a chanchaud, chaude. I can't. I'm bad with French. In France, and a perito caliente in Spain. It is a hot dog. Good job. Ha. 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 Yeah. Okay. What was the setting for the Survivor series featuring Rotu, Maraamu, and Soliantu tribes? The Marquesas Islands. The Marquesas Islands. I don't know those islands. I'm going to look those up really quick and find out where those are. The Marquesas Marquesas Islands. They are in. Oh, I wasn't too far off. It is a Pacific island. It's in Polynesia. It's one of the most remote islands in the world. It's 850 miles northeast of Tahiti. Cool. I wasn't too off with Fiji. It's kind of in the same area. And they're among the largest island groups in French Polynesia. There you go. Cool. Now I know. I gotta look that up. Okay. What? Oh, we do know the answer to this question. We just didn't think about it. What former math professor told a court in 1998, my occupation, I suppose, now is jail inmate, Theodore Kaczynski? We forget he was a went to Harvard for math. Good old Ted. Teddy K. Ted Kaczynski. Theodore Kaczynski. What vitamin does human skin synthesize when exposed to sunlight? Vitamin D. We do that one. All right. And what must an NBA player keep at least an inch away from his knee at all times? Whoops. No. Shorts. That's right. They have to keep that yummy era away from their knees. No, shorts. Shorts. It was shorts. Great job. And last one. What decade spawned the Kit Kat, the Caramello, and the Rolo, leading Ronald Dahl to dub it the golden age of chocolate? The 30s. The 1930s. That was not the golden age of chocolate. It was the 30s. They were full of sawdust. What was Ronald Dahl thinking? It was full of sawdust and typhoid fever. Ronald Dahl did not know what he was talking about. Wow, the 30s. I didn't realize the Kit Kat went back to the 30s. Like the Caramello and the Rolo, I would believe, but I feel like the Kit Kat has like a new energy to it. It seems so 80s to me, but in 1930s, wow. The things we learn on this show. All right, so that was a really great bit of trivia. I'm glad we got to do that. Now we are gonna transition to the second half of the show, which is gonna happen, there we go, over there. I'm gonna bring you all over to a different area of my house. Here we go around this thing. And then we'll put you right here. No, almost there. And there we go. Yay! All right, that worked. Yeah, and we'll do some crafting. Yeah, maybe that's it. It was like the one edible thing. Ah, no, no problem. I'm glad you're here on the chat. This is great. Yeah, yeah. Sand. Fill up your food with sand or sawdust. It's fine. It's good for the kids. Uh, there we are. So I have quite a few uh crafting things I gotta do. Here's the thing. I'm gonna show these off. So I wrote a little song and then I made a music video for it last night. And here is one of the cardboard things that I used for it. Uh, uh, what else do we have? Little hair. Mm. The song is about cutting bangs and how you shouldn't do it, or at least I shouldn't do it. Curtain feathered bangs. Anyway, when the music video is done, I'll post it to the Discord and you can see it. They're not giant poppies. Great question. They are actually letters that I've been making. They spell out corduroy, which is the name of my sketch group. So we use these in we made like an opening credits video. So yeah, they're all my little letters. Boom. There we go. But they do look like poppies. I should make some poppies. They look really good in cardboard. But I'm super excited. I finally got to EcoSet, which is that place that kind of picks up discarded props and supplies from film sets. And you can go and make an appointment and you get a bunch of material for free. So I re-upped on a bunch of my cardboard. So I'm ready to start making stuff. And I got a pretty large list. I already have a couple things done, but I definitely have a bunch more. Give me 1 second. I'll go run and I'll show you what I've made already. This just happens to be downstairs. There we are. Boom, I'm back. Okay. No, you should probably just recycle them because I get a lot of free unless you want me to use your cardboard to make something. But no, I think for the environment's sake, it's probably better if you just straight up recycle them rather than wasting the energy to send them to me because I can get free supplies. Oh yeah, then probably not. The Amazon boxes aren't actually that great. They have a lot of printing on them, which is hard to color over. And I'm super into, now that I have EcoSet, I can get this kind of, I call it cardboard, but really it's like that plastic stuff, which is really great because it's much more durable and it's waterproof and and this ended up working a lot better than cardboard. Corrugated plastic, yeah, I think I do. The only downside is I have to be careful when I cut it because it does leave kind of sharp edges. So I wouldn't want anyone to get cut on it. So I have to be careful when I cut it out. But yeah, it lasts a lot longer and it's waterproof, which I store a lot of my extra props in a garage, which is flooded a couple times. So it's better if they're a little waterproof and they're a little more durable. Whoa. Like using cardboard as a base for the 3D printing, or printing something made of cardboard? Like paper mache, but 3D printed? Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, that's a great idea. So I made like fake Oscar awards because our show is gonna happen right after the Oscars, so we had to do a Oscars and we didn't have to, but we should. Oh, and then a gavel because we have a courtroom scene. Love making a gavel. Let's see what else is on my list that we need to make. I need to make some fake boobies. Always good. I need to make a couple torches. That'll be fun. I should make some torches. And then not too many things. Let's do those torches. That sounds like a fun thing to make. And I will set up a I'll set up my crafting camera, and then that would be amazing. If you think, look, it works out well for both of us. Get rid of those boobies. I get boobies to use. I do wish sometimes I could do that. Be like, can I give you some of this and you give me some of that? That would be great. Oh, I also want to show you a really cool thing that I got. Oh, cool. Wait, what's this? Okay, my printer uses a load cell for Z leveling. I don't know what those words mean, but that sounds very cool. That sounds great. As long as there are no further questions, I think that's wonderful. No, that's very cool. Okay, so let me grab this real quick so I can set up my crafting camera for you all. All right, I'm gonna need you to remember some things because I have the list on my phone, but I'm gonna use the phone as my crafting cam so that I won't be able to look at my list anymore. So we're gonna make 2 torches, and then I need like a heart. I need 2 heart emojis, and then I need. Then if we have time, I'll do the fake boobies. And I don't know if I can show that on camera, so we'll leave that for the end. But let's start with the 2. Let's start with the 2 torches. See how. Oh, thank you, chat. You're the best. All right, so let's get this set up to go. I could have had it set up before, but I had stuff going on. And sometimes I think it's nice if you get to see me setting things up, right? Right? Sure. Here we go. Bringing it in. Okay. Setting this up. It's a thing. But I'm not worried about time because you're just here with me. We're all in this together. There we go. Yeah, it's working. Oh, and I gotta get a thing so there's no feedback. For sound. Perfect. And then let's put this in here. Oh, right. Do it the right way. Yeah, then we can adjust later as soon as you appear. All right, we're going to call this the crafting camera. Let's see if we can set that up. There it is. Get that on screen. Ayo, look at that. Awesome. And then that is going to go there. Let's adjust that a little better so you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. That's a little better. Good. Isn't this fun for you to watch me do this? It is. That's what I say. There we go. That's better. All right, good. Yeah, this is all happening. I'm going to bring it a little bit closer. Yeah. And then maybe twist that a little bit. Bring that up there. This is fascinating for you all, isn't it? That's what I need. Yeah, that's a good angle. Good. Boom. Perfect. Whoa. Oh. I'm sure that's a possibility. I'm sure that can happen. I'm sure, like, if Cubby were here, Cubby might even know how to make that a possibility. I'm adjusting this. It still looks weird because you can see this camera there, but that's fine. You can still see my face. Oh yeah, Etsy will probably have them. Oh, cool. Really? That's really smart. And then do you sort of tape them together? Is that how to make them work? I'm not a sewer. I try. I can hand sew a little bit. And there was a time where I made my own costumes, sort of. Yeah, that's not gonna. Let me see if there's a way to. That's a little better. Okay. Yeah, that's much, much better. This thing right in front of my face. Somewhere there's professionals and they know what they're doing. But that's why you love this show, because we don't need professionalism. We have charm, she says. Hopefully. I feel like I'm only making it worse. That might work though. Yeah, that'll work. Ish. I guess that should be like that. I guess that's how to make that work. Aha. That's the solution we're looking for. There we go. Now you can see me and you can also see that. Great, we figured it out. It only took us a long time. Perfect. Perfect. It's all coming together. Yes. Good. Yes. Oh, gotcha. Wow. Okay, cool. That's so cool. So, all right, torches. Let's see. We got a good size piece of cardboard right here. I'm going to cut that so they're easier size to manage. Oh, that's the other thing is the corrugated plastic is cuts really nice and doesn't leave sort of little shredded edges. Although with the cardboard blade, this cuts really, really well. I don't know if you can see. So it has a rounded, yeah, you can see there it has a rounded tip, which is what you want for cardboard. Because if it's a sharp point, it sort of gets caught up in the threads of it. But the round sort of glides right through it and cuts the cardboard really well. But then this corrugated cardboard cuts even better, and you can get really nice, clean, swoopy lines, and it's a lot easier than the cardboard. Cuts a lot faster because it can get kind of time consuming if you're cutting little detail-y things. Oh, nice. Oh, I want to see that. Yes, please, 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 please. Or like whenever you get Wi-Fi again, because I would love to see that. But a knife. Oh yeah, yeah. But they make a huge difference. I didn't think it would make such a big difference, and I was like, oh, this is way better. This is saving me a whole lot of time. All right. So the first thing I like to do, I'm going to talk a little bit through this first one, and then we can transition. We'll do some quiet crafting, which might be nice. So I'm running a little low on brown paint markers. They don't come in a standard set, so you kind of have to special order them. They don't come in, and there's a lot of brown in the world. It's a very common color. It's a great color. So you need it. You need it. It should be included. Oh, great question. He got a new performance job for Historic Philadelphia and has his training all this week. So he's got training today. They're a really nice company. I worked for them as well when I used to live in Philly. They do really cool. They have like storytelling stations set up throughout the city in the spring and summer. So you can kind of like go to different stations and hear a little like historical, entertaining story about the location you're at. And they do like school things. Yeah. It's a good gig. It's a good gig for him. Yeah. Yeah, we'll let him know. All right, so what I like to do is I like to do a real rough outline with like a thick black paint marker, and then you can kind of see it on this one where I did like the thick outline, and then I go back over it with the color. I feel like it just gives me like a nice, good base. And these are going to be like old-timey medieval torches. Not like a tiki torch, like a torch you'd find in a hanging on the wall, like a wall sconce torch, or maybe even less fancy that. I think it needs to be like a real, like it's a stick, and they wrapped a piece of cloth around it is the kind of look I'm going for. But simple. That's what I gotta keep reminding myself. Simple, Shoshi. Just keep it simple. It doesn't need to be that complicated. Simple, better. Yeah. All right. So let's see. We know we want the flames to be kind of up there. So we'll do kind of a little outline of a flame. That looks pretty good for the flames. We can always go back in and make it look more flamey, but that's a pretty good outline for now. As I've said many times before, most of art is just correcting mistakes. So don't Don't be afraid of mistakes. You're gonna fix them. You're gonna fix them while you do it. And then we'll kind of have the stick part right there. And then go down to the holdy part. These are all technical terms, everybody. Maybe some little things there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like to, yeah, that's a good kind of basic shape. And then I can go from there. What's nice too is this, it ends up getting sort of a nice black outline, which when you have them on stage, you sort of want, like here, I'm gonna fill in these little extra bits that I didn't come out in black as well. And it just adds like a sort of a nice contrast, so it stands out a little bit on stage. Sometimes if I'm feeling real fancy, one thing that works pretty well as an outline on stage, weirdly, is here, I'll show you, is to put kind of this like a sky blue around it, because the human brain sort of sees blue, I think because, you know, of the sky, we sort of see blue as like neutral, invisible sort of on stage. And sometimes depending on your stage setup, like if you've got a literal black box theater, which that's just that's what the term for a small theater space, but it usually is sort of almost literally a black box. So sometimes if you have that kind of a situation, you don't want the totally black outline, because then it just disappears into the black of the stage. It's not really something you have to worry about too much, because, you know, there's lighting and things like that. But sometimes if I want it to pop a little bit more, or I want it to feel like it's more sort of like floating in space, I'll do like this kind of a sky blue outline on it, and it kind of makes it pop like just a little bit more. Isn't that interesting though? Like our brain is like, oh, I don't have to pay attention to that blue bit. That's clearly not a part of a show. Yeah, so sometimes I'll do the little blue bits. So let's get back to this torch. There it is. And let's see what I'm limited on. This is more of a reddish brown, but that's okay. So I'm going to kind of go in. This will be my base color, which is a little it's a little red for me, but that's okay, because we're going to go in over it with some other browns, because I'm running low on brown. As I said, I got to get some more markers. I just haven't had time to go to the store. So when I have sometimes having a limited selection though makes you get kind of fun and creative using what you have. So we're going to use this as the base, and then I'm going to go in with some more orangey browns, less red browns, to put some texture in it. And then it's going to read as, hopefully, it's going to read as totally brown and wood. But even that, like, kind of works. Oh, great question. So a combo of places. There's a really great art store out here called Blick Arts. I don't know if you remember Pearl. They used to be around. They were really great. I think they went out of business though. But there's a really great one called Blick. And they have a huge Posca selection, or I'll order them directly from the Posca website, because sometimes they have pretty good deals. Like this, I have this like huge 100, like every color Posca set. I would show it to you right now, but it's very in a precarious position. Oh yeah, highly recommend Blick. They're so nice there. they have a good selection, at least the one here in LA does. Or I go to Posca and order directly if they have like a sale. I love I found, and I think a lot of artists find this, because I remember I used to paint miniatures, and the really dedicated and long time painters actually used a fairly thick brush, but like a thicker brush that held a lot of paint but had a very fine point, as opposed to a tiny little brush. And I'm finding the longer I'm doing this, kind of the thicker I like my medium. I do like a variety, but I like the really thick ones, little chunky boys. And then these, if you got to paint big things, these moppers are awesome. I wish they were refillable. That would be ideal. But they're so great because they're such good saturated color. You can just, if you need to do a big swath of color, you can do it so fast. You have to be gentle with them because they're made that if you want, you can press on them and the paint will sort of drip down, which is a very fun effect. But you may not always want it. So you have to be sort of gentle when you press down with it. But those have saved me so much time when I'm doing big things. All right, so now I want kind of so fire is interesting. Fire has a lot of different colors in it. So I actually like to go, I'm going to make this a little more, this outline a little more defined and darker. I'm going to go back in as well and fix this up more eventually. And then I like to put some black deep in the center of my fire, just to sort of give a little like illusion of depth in there. And then I love to go in with a little bit of dark blue as well in the center there. Because if you look at fire, it has a little blue in the center there. So I like to do a little blue in the center. And this will all get layered over it. And then while that's drying, because the thing I have learned with the Posca markers is, and especially on the corrugated plastic, like the cardboard absorbs it and it dries fast. But on the plastic, you have to just be a little patient, let it dry a little bit. So while that is drying, I will move back to here because I painted that earlier and it seems pretty dry now. So we can go in with my more brown colors. So you can see it's already, yeah, it's not, there's not much left. I might have to try a different. That's running low as well. Oh no. That one's good. Hey, there we go. Yeah, and then that'll be kind of the highlight for it. Do some little streaky lines like you find on wood. There we go. And you really don't need much for this because it's going to be on stage. It's only on stage for a few moments. You just want to give the just enough that it gives the, like, I probably could have even just stayed with how it is. Oh, wait, let me bring that closer because you can't really see that detail there. There we go. I need to do. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'll wait for that to dry. And then I have a lighter color that I'm going to put on top of it. And that'll make it really pop. But I mean, I'm actually, like, that's good. Like, I'm fine with that. And then we're going to go with I'm actually going to use very little red. I'm going to use more orange and yellow. And the colors tend to go, it sort of goes blue, orange, yellow. And then you can go back in a little bit with some red. But fire doesn't actually have that much red in it. It's more yellows and oranges. And also, it's going to be mostly yellow by the time I'm done with this. But again, I like the layering effect because you can cover up mistakes, but also it adds sort of a depth underneath the yellow. There we go. And you can see I'm kind of avoiding the blue right now because the blue is still a little wet and I don't want to mix the orange and the blues, but I will go back in over once that blue is 100% dry, I'll go back in with some other colors. But it's already looking, I'm pretty happy with how it's looking already, actually. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Boom. Okay, so while those are drying, I can get some silver. There's gold. I would say brown, silver, black, and white are kind of the most common colors I end up using. There's my silver. I think I like the silver there. I might end up going with something a little darker. We'll see what this looks like. I love how the silver, I guess that's the only downside of most colors look really good on the white, but I'm finding the silver is a little too light. So I might need to do a black base underneath it and then go back over it with the silver. Just because it ends up looking, you don't really see the silver over the white. Silver over cardboard looks so good. I was like, what? There's something about that base that makes it really pop. But there we go. We'll just add a little black. That adds a little more depth. A little more depth to it. That looks better. You can do a little more black on there. Yeah, that's good. Cool. And that, okay, good. The blue seems dry. So then I can go back in, get that orange over there. Yeah, and I just love how that little bit of blue under there kind of just adds like a nice depth to it, and it'll look even better. All right, that's looking pretty good. Let's do, yeah, we'll use this color here. So this is going to help me with my, and you can do those little loopy lines that makes it look like wood, sort of, you know, because like adding a little some fake wood grain on there. Yeah, and then on stage it'll really kind of pop, hopefully. Cool, so there's that, and then for the yellow of the flame, I want a real yellow. And that will be mostly at the tips, because it tends to get lighter. And then I'll probably even go in at the very, very end and with a little bit of white and do some white highlighting, because I find that is really what makes stuff pop. I could even go back in. I mean, if I wanted to get real crazy, I go in and put a little pops of green in there, because there's also green, a little bit of green in fire. Look, we've all been the person to stand around and maintain the fire at an event We've all stared too long at the flames. We know what fire looks like. Our brain knows. Yeah. Although actually this is nice with the yellow, it's making its own bits of green. Look at that. Look at that. That's looking great. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I wanted a little more yellowy. I also could have made this even simpler if I wanted to, and it would have worked, but I'm having fun, so I'll keep going. Yeah, that's getting there. I actually really like how that looks. Looks really good. I'm gonna get a little more yellow there. All right, I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit. Get off the excess, because I can kind of, I got a little impatient, and you can see it mixed a little bit. Oh, you know what? But I might use that because that's good for you. There we go. Yeah, look at that. That's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Cool. All right, I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit before I put more stuff on. And then, yeah, I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna go back in one more time with the highlighter and also give it a better black outline, and then I'll cut it out. But let's start the second torch. This one I'm gonna do a little bit different. This one I'm gonna do a little more simple, and it'll be fine. It'll work just as good. But this one's gonna be a little more, we're gonna give it just one big flamey guy. And then I'm gonna have the little cup right there. Good. And that's gonna come down for the handle. Yeah, this one's gonna be a lot more simple. More like a very simple little cartoony torch. I like to mix it up a little bit for the kids. There we go. Yeah. I'm happy with that. Cool, that's a good little outline. Oh yeah, I like how that looks. It's very silly. And then this one, we're gonna have the center. It's gonna be orange. And outside. Outside it's gonna be yellow. Yeah, this is looking good, everybody. It's fun talking it through. I normally just do quiet crafting. But it's good to sort of talk it out. It's helpful for me too. There we go. Yeah, this one is much, much more clip art, straightforward, which I think is good. I don't think they need to look exactly the same. There's a point in the show where some medieval villagers come with torches and pull me away off stage. So that's what these are for. So they can, you know, you can have different villagers with different torches. They wouldn't all have the same torches. Yeah, I like how that looks. That looks like kind of like a Roman era torch sort of a thing. Yeah. And then I think this I'm gonna make metal actually. So let's get the black for that one. Fill that in and wait till that dries. I'll put some silver over that. Yeah, I think a Posca visit is in order. There we go. Then that is going to be wood. But this, I'm going to do the wood a little differently than last time. I'm going to start with this color. This is my last brown, really. The other browns are all out. Yeah, I should look into see if those moppers, what are the different colors they come in, or if somebody makes a refillable version of those, because they're really a great device. I wish I could refill them. Then they would be perfect. And I would just buy the paint and refill it and keep using those things. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Yeah, look at that. All right, cool. I like this one a lot. I like how simple it is. It's really silly. Yeah, this one's much more, this is my impressionist torch, and this one is my cartoony modern torch. That's what we're going with. All right, let's do some silver there. Oh yeah, over the black, that silver looks real good. Yeah, that's gonna look nice on stage. The silver looks so nice on stage because the light hits it and it really like looks silver. And it's not, I don't think people are expecting a silver color, you know? So it adds a nice like depth and realism to it that I think people aren't expecting. At least, I don't know. I like how it looks. There we go. Yeah, look at that. Haha. That one. I also like how simple these end up being, and kind of the more simple they are, the better, which is a great lesson for me. And yeah, just to be like, sometimes complicated isn't better. Sometimes do the easy thing. Why not? There's nothing wrong with it. There really isn't. It's okay to make the easiest choice. Because I find, and I'm sure you all have found this as well as creative, probably neuro-untypical people, that what we consider our simple baseline, we're like, oh, that's such a basic choice. I've done that so many times. Why would I do it again? It's probably unusual to everyone else. Our simple might be other people's complicated, because we people, artistic people, people with neurodivergence, we hold ourselves to a really, really high standard. And not everyone has to do that. So it's good to remind ourselves, like, hey, it's okay. Our 50% is probably a lot of other people's 100%. It's okay to take a rest. It's okay to make the simple, easy choice. It actually might not be the simplest, easy choice. It might actually be a complicated choice because it's a choice that other people haven't seen before because our brains work slightly differently. And yeah, so that's what I had to say. Cool. Well, I'm really happy with that. I think I'm just going to leave that real simple like that. I like it. It kind of looks like a fun coloring book version of things, which I love. I love a coloring book version of things. So now I'm just going to add the extra black outline just to give it a little more depth. That will also be the line that's helpful to me for cutting it out. Good. Yeah, I really like how that looks. I'm very happy with that. Heck yeah. Now I kind of want to go back into this too complicated one and make it more simple, which I think is what I'm going to do. Now that it's dry, I can add these black outlines, which is going to help define things, make things a little more simple. Good. I'll add a nice line there. And this line doesn't have to be perfect on the outside because this is also where I'm going to cut it out. So it's fine if it's a little messy on the edges there because no one's ever going to see those edges because I'm going to cut them out. Let's do that. Good. Yeah, that looks way better. I'm much happier with that. And then I'm even going to do a little design in there. That'll help things as well. It's all right. It's okay. I feel like it wants a little more yellow up here. I'm going to stop fiddling with this pretty soon. It's getting a little too crazy for me. I think this works. It's fine. I actually end up liking, I kind of like the other one better. I like the very simple basic one better. I mean, this one's fine, but it's a lot. It's a lot, and I don't think I needed that much. I think I probably could have just gone more simple, and that's a good lesson. It's a good lesson for us all, isn't it? All right, good. Yeah, that works though. And then what I like to do, this will help simplify things as well, is when I feel like I've been doing too complicated, you can go back over it with a little white there. Yeah, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. That looks way better. Yeah, that's helpful. Give it a little highlight. Little highlight for the kids. Little simple highlights. Yeah. All right, look at those two torches. I'm pretty happy with that. They look pretty good. They look like torches that would come out and pull a poor villager away. Yeah, I'm happy with those. Sweet. All right, cool. So I think I have time. Oh, I'll do those hearts. That's what I'll do next. Then I may or may not have time for the movies, but we'll see. That's probably big enough. Yeah. Is that one better? Let's see. I like using all the little, I want to use as much of the little scraps as possible. Let's set those over to the side. I'll cut these out later. They got to dry first. Put those over there. And is that one going to be big enough? No, that one's bigger, so let's do that one. All right, so then this needs to look like a like the classic heart emoji. So that's pretty simple. Let's see if we can get it. Looking pretty good. I might need to fiddle with that a little bit more. Oh, that looks pretty good. The thing that will let people know it is the classic heart emoji is if I do it as perfectly as possible. That's pretty good. And a lot of art also is just trusting, like, your brain knows what's right, but your body's gotta figure out how to make the thing that your brain wants. And that's art. Teaching your body to do what your brain wants. I mean, that's kind of how to do art, sort of. But your brain knows. And if something looks off, your brain's going to be like, no, that's a little off. And you just trust your brain, and then you just keep fiddling with it until your brain's like, yeah, that's right. That's pretty close. It's like a pretty good shape. And then it's a little not perfect. That side's a little too high, but that's okay because when I cut it out, I can make that kind of more even. Yeah, and then I can fix it a little with the red. All right, then let's see what our red options are. I've got this is a pretty good red. This red is a little pink though, but that's fine because I have these two other reds that I can go back in and line them over. Because if I look at a picture of that classic red heart emoji, it has like a little bit of a darker red outline on it. And I think that'll help us. Yeah, but these are the moppers. Like, see how easy and great that is? And I'm barely pressing, and it's really, like, I've got the lightest, featheriest touch right now. And the paint is just like really flowing out, like you barely touch it. Whatever they did, they figured out that sponge real good. There we go. All right, awesome. So, I mean, that even looks pretty good just right there. But I will want to go back over it just with that little bit of a red outline, because then I can make I can really make sure that it captures that heart emoji thing, and also can kind of even it out. So that, I don't know if you can, let me bring it closer so you can kind of see you can see that it's pretty wet. Oh yeah, there we go, in the light. So I've really gotta, yeah, there it is. You can see how wet that is right now. And it was like feather light touch, and it puts like a real nice thick thing down. So if you have to do a big swath of color really fast, it's so nice for that. So that I'm gonna let dry. We don't have too much time left. I probably don't have time to start on the boobies, but maybe I will. They're gonna kind of work. This is also some hair that I drew, but they're gonna kind of be like, they're supposed to be literally like those fake boobs that you see people put on in British comedies all the time. I think it's like specific a British comedy thing. I haven't seen it much in American comedy. Don't know why. We should figure that out. But yeah, where it kind of like goes over your shoulder and like the boobs come down that way. So I'll need a fairly big piece of cardboard, which is back there. So I think I might do those later. So what I'll do now is if these are dry, which they are, I will cut them out for you. So you can see I kind of, like I have that thick black outline, but I'm not going to use all of it. And I end up cutting about half to 3/4 of it off from the final thing. If I have, sometimes you can get through the plastic in one go, but sometimes you kind of have to do the outline and then go back over again with the thing before it pops out. But you see, like kind of, there's really, it's really like half the line. But what's nice is it ends up, because you're cutting it in a clean line, it ends up making a nice clean line, and it makes it look like you knew what you were doing the whole time. And then I could, with these little flamey bits up here, I could cut each of those little flamey bits out, but because the corrugated plastic ends up being sharp corners, I don't want to hurt any of my actors. So when I have little bits like that, here, I'll show you what I do. I leave some space, I leave some white space, and then I'll either color that in with either black or that light blue. And so you still get the feel of the pointy flamey bits, but I can make it with a rounded corner so my actors don't get hurt. They don't stab each other in the eye with sharp plastic bits. Because, nobody gets paid enough to be injured on the job. There we go. Now, I think I was thinking about doing blue for this, but I think because of the flames, I think I want it to be black. I think that's gonna make it pop the most. I think blue would make it feel a little strange. Yeah, definitely. The black looks good. Yeah, so then you have, just this little sort of outline there. And I really like how that ends up looking. I feel like it makes it look so cartoony, which is, one of my favorite looks. That's what taught me about comedy, cartoons, Looney Tunes, where I learned everything. As everyone should. Do the kids get to watch Looney Tunes these days? I hope so. They're out there on the internet, right? I hope the kids are getting to see those. Classic music and Mel Blanc, one of the best voiceover character artists ever in the whole world. I've recently really gotten into old Fleischer Studios Popeye cartoons, which, man, that Fleischer Studios, the stuff they were doing with animation was amazing. They invented so many different things. Just like really, really cool, beautiful stuff. There we go. Yeah, that looks nice. I like the little blank bit there. Awesome. All right, so that one is done. Sort of. So the original comic book Popeye is going to be going into public domain soon, but the Fleischer Studios Popeye cartoons have a little bit longer. But old original comic book Popeye doesn't look quite like the Fleischer Studios. Yeah, they invented the rotoscope, which if you don't know what that is, that's where you get a film of an actual person, and then the cartoon goes over the person, so you map the body's movements based on the movement of a real actual human. A little bit of Snow White used that. Alice in Wonderland used it a little bit. A lot of the old cartoonists use it. I love how it looks. It's just this like really interesting mix of realism and not realism. They also invented this really amazing thing where so they would have a background and then another layer of background and then the moving cartoons, like these are still and painted, and then that's where the clear I can't remember what they're called. It's what they draw the actual moving cartoons on, and like it's a clear sheet of paper. There's a word for it, but that would go in front of that, and the camera would be here, so you had depth, so you had like this, like a tree, and then or like a mountain, and then tree. Yeah, a multiplanar camera. Yeah, they invented that, and you'll see it even in the old Popeye cartoons, and it just looks so awesome. And you can do things where you like zoom in and like trees go past the camera, but it's all animation. It's amazing. And they also invented the machine. I can't remember what they called it, but it's for making. It's basically like a plate, and you like pop the cellophane, the cartoon, pop it on, tilt it up, camera takes a picture, pop it down, put the new plane on, pop it back up. It's like this beautiful machine. I went to this really cool event not that long ago that showed a bunch of the old Fleischer cartoons that had recently been restored. And in the beginning, they had a little like mini documentary thing about all the stuff that Fleischer Studio does, and you got to see video of like the old machines, and you're like, I want that. I'm not a Luddite. I love technology, but I feel like some things don't need improving on, and like film is pretty great, and like doing things that way is pretty like it was pretty cool. I mean, I say that as someone who like uses a lot of digital technology and things like that. Like I'm not against it, but I also 2 nights ago I rewatched the original Jurassic Park. Really holds up. Those puppets, like the mix of puppets and a little, I think it's like technically CGI, kind of not the CGI we know now, but there's definitely like computer enhancement done on that. But that combo of practical effects and CGI is great. Like that looks the best. That's what it should be. I don't need all digital. I don't need all computer stuff. I want a mix. I want some textures. I want some movement, some puppetry. And yeah, that Jurassic Park movie is pretty good. Holds up. Holds up. There we go. Yeah, cut that one out. Almost. And as soon as I cut this out, I think. Oh no, we've got like 10 more minutes. Great. Yeah, exactly. That's the good stuff. Yeah. I'm not really worried about AI as far as art goes, because I don't know. I'm just not. I love animation. I have sort of a rant about my art rant where I feel that each artistic medium holds inherent in itself its idealized form, like the ultimate form. Uh, and I think animation is sort of film's ultimate form because you can do anything with it. Like you can't do anything. Oh, that sounds amazing. I mean, they used to do all of them kind of like that. The like early ones. But I think I know the movie you're talking about. I don't remember what it's called either. But yeah, I'm a big fan of big animation fan. There we go. That one looks great. And then sometimes after I cut it out, I'll kind of go back over the edges with the black just to really make that outside edge super dark because I find that really gives it that nice like cartoony pop. And also sometimes when you cut it, a little bit of the white pops out. So you want to kind of cover that back up again. But again, not being too precious because it's only going to be on stage for a few seconds. Heck yeah. All right. I'm pretty happy with those 2 torches. That's pretty good. Boom. Yeah. Torches. Sometimes I make them double-sided. Sometimes I don't. I don't mind kind of if they see the back is cardboard. There's something kind of funny about that. Raw. Burn them. Get them. And I also I like to make them a little bit bigger than they would be in real life. I feel like that adds like a nice little cartoony aspect to it too. All right, so let's see if my heart emoji is dried yet. It's still pretty wet. It's still pretty wet, but that's fine. I can do some stuff. Let's cut it out a little bit more so it's easier to access. Good. Yeah, what can we do with this as wet as it is? Oh no, it's actually fine. So it's only wet in the center. So, so I'm gonna go around the edge here and just give it a little outline. I think that'll really solidify that it's the classic heart emoji. Yeah, that's gonna look good. And then I think I still will keep a thin black line around this, even though the classic heart emoji I think doesn't have a black outline, but I think I'll keep just a little bit of one, just because I think it'll make it easier to see everything. Cool. What I might do is cut it out and cut off most of the black outline, and then go back over after I cut it out and just do that very edge with a little bit of black. I think that'll add just like a tiny little pop. So it'll look good on the stage. Yeah. Well, this has been a really fun. Thanks for letting me talk all this stuff out. It's been really fun. I really thought I was going to do quiet crafting, but it was very fun to be able to talk everything, to talk stuff out. It's helpful for me too, and hopefully it gave some good, as you said, Shoshi ASMR. I guess that made the whole time I should have been whispering. Should have been whispering and then doing lots of sounds. Lots of sounds. I don't get that. I don't get the tingle, but I like that there are people out there that do. Yeah, that's looking nice. You can't really see the darker red because the black is like a little too dominant. But once I cut it out, it'll pop a little bit more. But I need to stop fiddling with it because it still is too wet and it's going to start bleeding into each other. And patience, Shoshi, patience. You must have patience. All right. Well, I believe we are at time. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us once again for the crafting show, for the Shoshi crafting show. Oh my gosh, yes, please do that. I would love to see that. I've been loving all the posts on the Discord. I meant to say that. There's some real good stuff going on there, and I love it. I'm so bad at checking Discord. I need to get better at it. I should put it in my calendar. I should be like, all right, every day at 2:00, you're going to check Discord. Get all your messages, get out. But yes, please, I would love to see that. All right, everyone. This has been a wonderful time. Everyone is great and lovely. I never took off the trivia banner. That's fine. It's been wonderful. I will see you all next week. We're going to have a great time. Everything's great. Is that? Oh no. See, this is what happens when Cubby's not here. All right. I'm going to play the outro, but then you might get double outro because of the presettings that I don't understand. So have fun with that. Bye.